This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so today I'm going to teach you the tool which is called Ansible. Now, what is Ansible? Why do we need it? What is the role of Ansible in the SDLC cycle? How do we install it? How do we configure it? You know, how do we work on the Ansible? So all these things we are going to we are going to work on. Today. So the first question is, what is Ansible? So when I look at this Ansible, uh, here you can say a tool which could help you to do. And when I say do means anything, uh, do means installation, user creation, running some script, updating the patch, deployment the new software, do something. It can be anything. A tool which would help you to do, script, running some commands, running and script in hundreds of server at a time. That's all, at a time. So it will save some parallel activity. When it's a servers means manage server, Windows servers, or something like that. So this one we call it you know config management tool. This tool we call it config management tool. Okay, so why we call it config management tool? Because you can change, understand that you can change the configurations of change the configurations of machine. Okay, configurations of servers. Now it's important servers, that means hundreds of servers at a time. Now the question is where it's turned in the in the SDLC cycle. So let's discuss about this one. I just got spoiled. Huh? So here it stand. Let's say we have a planning, then we have coding, then we do the scan the code, we build the code, then we package the code, right? Package the code, and after that we archive the code, and after that what we do, archive, after that deploy to QA environment. So far this is the flow we've completed. So in terms of planning, we do the Jira and Confluence we learn. For the coding, Python and Git, you know. For scan, Sonar, we learn Sonar Cube. For build, Narman and Gradle we learn, right? For packaging, we have learned Packer, right? For archiving, which tool we learned? I forgot the name of it. Anyone remember?
For what, Rajesh?
Archiving the packages. So we learned Artifactory, correct me? And then if you want to deploy the packages in SDLC cycle, you can use Ansible. So using Ansible, you can say deployment management tool also, but I think it will be wise if you say it's a config management tool, because you more configure the servers, using Ansible. So all of you are understanding this? Any questions?
Clear.
Uh, One question, is the deployment. Do we need to say is it a Terraform or Ansible? Terraform is for the deployment, right? Configuration is for the Ansible.
Which
right?
tool you said?
Terraform.
Okay, that's a very good question. So many of you will get stuck between the should we use Terraform, okay, and or Ansible. So see, first fundamental is understand that every tool is in a way you can do most of the activities. For example, you can do everything using Python also. We don't need all these tools. You can do with the Java also. You can do the shell scripting also. So why we use the tool? Because certain tools are very good in certain things. Okay. So can we do everything through the Ansible? Yes. Can we do everything through the Terraform? Yes. But the question is which is the best in order to do certain task. So here Terraform, when we look at the Terraform, if you want to create a new infra, you know, apply all the infra changes and destroy, then Terraform is good. New infra means whole 10 boxes you want to create, and you want to update, you want to destroy, VPC you want to create, and other stuff of cloud you want to create. You want to automate the infrastructure creation process. But here Ansible is not a creation, although you can use it. I'm not saying you cannot use it, but you can use it. But the main work of the Ansible is to updating the server after creation. So there are difference, correct now? So here this will help you, Terraform will help you to create infra, and here configure the infra. So that is the something which is a fundamental difference. But
So the
apart from
question is,
that,
Rajesh, the question is like, for example, if you consider AWS or any public cloud, right? Do you consider it as a infra or is it a configure? Because there's no hardware there per se. Everything is configuration only. So if you consider AWS, what do you suggest? Like whether it's a Terraform or it's a Ansible?
see, you have added a container, that means Kubernetes. Okay, so I'll put it in this way. Do you want to create infrastructure, including the Kubernetes cluster setup? You should do through Terraform. Now, from after the infrastructure setup, there is a two direction. Direction one, you want to update the inline servers, then you can use Ansible. But if you want to update the deployment of Kubernetes, then Helm chart and all other kubectl now it will work. Got it?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. That means like the basic, the core funda of like or the infrastructure and everything will be configured through or deployed through Terraform, and after that any any application configuration or the Kubernetes configuration, those will done through the Ansible. That's what you mean, right?
Yes, yes. Should be done. With the stating saying that, can you do everything through the Ansible? Yes. Can we do everything through Terraform alone without Ansible? Answer is also yes. That's what I said. But if you combine these two capability, the design will be perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So now next question is, okay, fine. So here Ansible have a multiple release actually. Okay, so one of the release which I'm teaching you is Ansible command line, okay, which is free. But we have a tower also, okay, which is a UI basically based software for the enterprise problem solution for the config management, and it's a paid also. Now there is a one more software which has been released, which is called AWX. So AWX is also UI based, but you know what? It is a free also, but actually no support is there. Means latest version, but no support. Okay, so that is a latest non-tested candidate. Okay, so they release as part of AWS, so people should try it out for the POCs or no. So that is how it is. Okay, so this is something which you have. Now this tool is developed in Python. Okay, so it will be running on the Python. Now, who's developed this? So Red Hat. So this is the product of the Red Hat and so on. So now let's move on to the understanding the architecture here. Okay, so how Ansible works. Okay, so in every architecture we have you. Okay, and you manage the ACS. What is ACS? So ACS basically Ansible server. You call it Ansible control server. Okay, and here Ansible control server manage the Ansible remote server. The remote server is something which you manage it. These servers, when I say no, modify the hundreds of servers and all. So these servers are ARS only. So you have a little bit of visualizations if you want. Uh, this is the U, okay, and then you will have one server, and this is called ACS, okay, ACS, and this server will manage 100 of ARS. Now this ARS. Now this ARS can be Linux, it can be Windows, but it has to be Linux only. That means ACS server has to be Linux only. So now this is the architecture. Now next question is what you have in ACS. So let me tell you here. This first ACS has to be Linux only. You have Linux only. Here you have to install Ansible. Here this can be any Linux, Windows, Mac, anything. And here no, not applicable. That means it's agentless. That means you don't need to install any agent in the ARS. Then you'll say, okay, so how this management will happen. So Ansible is having the protocol which they are using, which is called SSH for Linux and WinRM for Windows, which is default. So you don't need any agent for installing as such. So if you see that here, now when you have Ansible and here SSH connection, if the ARS is Linux, but here it will become a WinRM when you have Windows. So ARS is Windows, then Ansible connect to Linux through WinRM protocol. So SSH is 22 protocol, which is there by default in every Linux, and WinRM 5686 or something like that is there. HTTP protocol. That is how it is. Okay, so now if you want to understand the component of ACS, so primarily in ACS we have Ansible. Yeah, so the Ansible which we install it, you have to install Ansible, and then the moment you install Ansible, you get few components which includes executables. Okay, and then you get a modules, you get the plugins, and then config file. Okay, so these are the few things you will get it when you install Ansible, but you have to introduce inventory also, and then you have to bring that playbook also. Okay, so you have to bring this playbook. So far so good, all of you. Any questions, any doubts? Any questions, any doubts? Hello, I'm audible, right?
Yes, Rajesh, no questions.
Yeah. Okay, so here now the question you should ask me, what is a modules here? So modules is a Python code. I'm simplifying. It can be different code also, but right now not to complicate customizations. It's a Python code. Now What is a plugins? So plugins is also Python code. Executables, you know that certain package, I mean certain software, when you install it, you get certain executables under the bin directory, var bin or whatever it is. So you get it. Now config file, as the name states, this is just a file which configuration file for Ansible. So now modules is also Python code and plugins is also Python code. So what exactly happens? So understand this way. Ansible is a tool, and tool you have a certain features. Every tools will have a certain features, right? Built-in core features we can call it. So those features is empowered by plugins. That means the plugin is a Python code which runs, please remember, which runs in ACS, and it is a feature of Ansible. You can add more features in that case. It's a plugin concept. That means core plugins are there. You can install more plugins. Simple. Now the question is, what is a modules then? Modules also is a Python code, but which runs in ARS. Please remember, which run in ARS, and it has parameters. Parameters. What does that mean? So see here, understand in a visual way. Here, this is you, okay, and you have ACS server, and you want to run certain commands in all these machines. So this, let's say, copy command, and source you specify and destination you specify, but through Ansible, okay, not through Linux command. And I'll teach you. So this you want to specify, you want to copy certain file from the certain source and destination, and this command you want to run in this machine also, this machine also, this machine also, this machine, all the machines you want to run same commands parallelly. So who will help you? Ansible to send that command, but that command also instruction has to be sent, right? That is called modules. So copy is one module. Let's say you want to start services in all the machine. Service is a one module. You want to create a user in all the machine. User is one module. But service, which service? That's called parameter. User, what user? The copy, which file? That's a parameter, right? So modules is nothing but a Python code, but which runs in ARS, and it has its own parameters. Okay. So this is something when you install the Ansible, you get it. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what is inventory? So guys, see here. The Ansible you install, you get all this thing here, but these are the machines, right? So you have to have the list of servers where you want to deploy the certain things. So where do you specify that one? That's called inventory. In simple way, a file which contains list of IP address of ARS. Simple, not complicating too much. Okay, IP address, it can be host name also if it is resolving, and so on. So now next thing is, what is a playbook? So guys, a playbook is something which is a, I can say it's a YAML file for time being, YAML file which has modules. I'm putting in a very simple way. This is a module, okay, and its parameter run in ARS. So that means whatever you want, see modules, you have thousands of modules available in the Ansible, thousands of which, like a copy, service start, user, this, that, so many modules are there. But what module you want to run it in the server? You can't run thousands of it. It all depends on the requirement, right? So which module you want to run? So where do you specify? So specify in the playbook in YAML file. How do we do that? I'll talk about it. So now, if you look at this, here you have Ansible, here you have inventory, and here you have a playbook in the ACS server. And the last one, config file. Here it is a config file. So what is a config file? So see, there are many things which is hard coded in executable. Can you change the executable? Of course not. How do we change the behavior of executable? Modify the config file. So anything which you modify in the config file will have a highest precedence, which is hard coded in the executable. So that is how you user change the behavior of any tools. Okay, so this is the way you have Ansible, inventory, and playbook. Are you comfortable with it, all of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now what to do? So here install Ansible. So now question is how to install Ansible. Okay, so for that I am going to, let's say I'm going to this machine, and wait a second. And this IP address 40, and I have a keys. I have a keys. This is the one machine. I'm logging into that. Colors. And here is Ubuntu. And I have a bad habit. I work as a root. Else you should work as a sudo. Now this is the one machine. It can be ACS. Okay. So this can be an ACS also. Here it has to be Linux. So here what I'm doing right now, installing Ansible. So what to do in order to install? So just I will type install Ansible Ubuntu and Devops school, right? And here is the tutorial one. And if I look at this, here is a command for Ubuntu. So let me run this, very few commands. And the last command will install the Ansible. Done, guys. So now guys, look at my screen, all of you. So here I'm going to show you all this stuff. Executable. So installation is done. So where is executable? So just I type with Ansible, and you see under the user bin, so user bin slash Ansi, enter. See, so many executables are there. We will use some of this today. What is a module? So if you see Ansible hyphen version, and there's a multiple module location. So this is the user location. This is a system location. This is also installation locations. So here you will also get modules. See, modules. This is the Python code actually. See here. See, which code is this? All of you.
Python.
Python code, right? So yeah, this is the modules. Same way, if you see in this directory, there's a plugins. Okay, and where is the config file? So it is here. Here you see that config file. So if you want to change the behavior of executables, you have to modify the some entries over there. Okay, so this is the installation. Was it difficult, all of you? All of you?
No, it's easy.
Okay, now next question is, guys, let me ask you this question. Uh, let's say if you want to do, please hear me out, okay? If you want to do one activity in one server, let's say in your, if you want to do something in your own laptop, so would you write a command, would you run the command directly, or would you write a script? What is your, what will be your, thought process?
Directly in a
Did you hear?
command.
Yes, you will run the commands. So guys, what will happen? What will happen? First, we should learn the commands in Ansible also, because we want to do one thing, then run the Ansible commands. We call it ad hoc commands. If you want to do a lot of things, then you write a script. So in that case, playbook. Let me show you the flow of the training. Ansible training flow. Devops tool. Okay, and then here, if you come to this place, here it is. Okay, now what I did, I designed this for easy training, and you also should understand easy way. So let me spin it this image. Okay, so what you should do, I mean, you want to do one task, please remember. But before running in the different ARS machine, that means remote machine, don't you think you are running in the local host to check whether the command is correct or not? Agree with me? Hello? Hello?
Yes,
Did I
Rajesh.
lost you? Yeah. So yeah. So we should, if you are running one task, first you should try the local host, your own machine, and then you should think about the running in the remote machine, one remote machine. And then if your success rate is good, then you should think about running the multiple remote machine using inventory, and then followed by group, which I'll talk about. So you start with one task, then ad hoc command. Well, but let's say if you say, Rajesh, I have a multiple task, multiple parameters, multiple modules, simple way. When I say task means module, okay? Then you have to use the playbook that I'll teach you next one. But again, if you have too many playbook, then it will come the role. That is the next topic. So here I'll try to cover this one. This is the most important one for you. Okay. So now the question is, what is the what you are going to do? So let's create our project. What is the project? So my manager came to me this morning and he said, Rajesh, write Ansible code. Please remember that this is how I will start working on it if someone is giving the work to me. So write Ansible code to deploy web server. That's a straightforward line which I get it. Okay. So now if this is a project, what should I do? So I will write in step. Manually I have to do. First thing I'll do manually. I will not jump to the automation using certain tools, including Ansible. First I do manually and create a pseudo code. And here I say, hey, step number one, uh, install what? Apache web server, let's say, in Ubuntu. Apache 2 in Ubuntu. That is step number two. Step number two, the step number one. Step number two would be copy package. Here it can be small package index.html in what location, because I'm doing manually, so I will know this information. Var www html. This is the location. I know that because we did manually, right? And then step number three, you have to start the services, right? So start Apache services. That's all. So if I can do this, okay, the work will be done. So first we have first we have a project. Then second we have a pseudo code with the steps which is required. Third, I will do manually all this stuff, not of Ansible automation. And then fourth, once I'm confirmed about it, then I'll look for the automation. So far so good, all of you. Did you understand the approach?
Yes.
So now once you have guys steps ready, you know what? Remember that I said very simple. You are going to find out modules. Remember, modules again is a Python code but resides in ACS, runs in ARS and requires parameter. So now I should ask myself, hey, what is a module for installing the Apache in Ubuntu? What is a module for copying the files? What is the module for starting the services? I told you there are thousands of modules. I'll tell you one thing, guys. You guys are, in a good time now, because whatever the code you write, I'll say in simple way. This this code, if you specify with this requirement to Chat GPT, they'll tell you everything. They'll give you the ready-made code, which will be perfect code. I have seen that. But earlier, and Ansible is pretty old. I started, I guess, 12 plus years before actually. So earlier what we used to do, we used to spend time with the documentations. For example, what we used to do, I'll tell you. So I'll go to the Google and here I'll type Ansible module for spelling mistake, I guess. Module for installing package in Ubuntu, and then something like that, because there's thousands of module. Here it is. So this module will help me, APT module. Okay, so you just type Ansible modules, you get the index page, see all modules, and here module index, where is that? Here it is. So a lot of modules, these are the categories of modules. Okay, so earlier we used to do it like that, but now life has become so easy actually. Okay, anyway, so if I look at the module, one of the module, APT module, so you have to remember that every module has its own parameter, and this you have to understand this table very well. Yes, in Ansible there are thousands of modules, and each module you have a many parameters, and this you have to spend time. It's not like everything is just so easy. You have to spend time, then it'll become easy. So this table you have to understand more or less. If you understand the APT, okay, I'm talking the commands, the tool. If you understand libd tool, then you will understand all these options, because it's not a from it's not from Ansible. It is from the tools capability only. These parameters you can pass it. So here, if you want to understand this parameter, the type of values will be given is Boolean, and this parameter was introduced in the Ansible 2.13. And even though if you don't set this value, the default is false. So if you want to make it true, you have to specify it likewise. So options, descriptions, default values, and all, everything you have it. One thing you have to look at it, state. So every modules will have a state, every modules more or less. So state will tell you what to do. For example, you want to, here in this case, what is that? Whether you want to install or remove or update, what exactly? So this is called state. Okay, absent, latest, present, fixed. Here, if you want to copy, if you want to start, what you want to start, restart, services start, restart, what exactly you want to do? So likewise, you have a module here, apt module. This is the copy module. This is a service module. I know that because it's just a fundamental modules actually. So like what you will search for it here, apt modules for copy files, copy module here for service. So there's a service module. Like that you will search and study. Sorry. So guys, did you understand that, all of you? All of you? Hello? I'm audible, right?
Yeah, yes, Rajesh.
Okay. So guys, this is the modules. Now what we do in this case? So here we are going to write ad hoc commands. How do we write? So let me teach you. So Ansible, any ad hoc commands you write with Ansible. Where do you want to run it? Local host. Okay. Now you want to run modules -m. Which modules? So here apt modules. You want to add a parameters -a. Which parameters? So you will take it from this document. Here you have apt module and name of the packages. What is this? Apache 2 space state what is equal to latest and done. Now you say, Rajesh, how do you know that this pattern? So actually I was not knowing. Ansible has, if you just type Ansible, and you will get all these options. See here, A for module, args, M for small m, module name, the pattern. Here it says you have to specify the host pattern and all that stuff. Okay, authentication. If it in case of remote machines, authentication options are there. Privilege escalations options are there, which can help you. So here I got it. This one done. Are you clear, all of you? Any questions, any doubts? So same way, I am going to create another modules. Here, copy modules. And now if I look at the documentations, here, copy modules. Here, parameters. Destination is required EC, red. So src and src, what is this? You want to copy index.html and destination is HTML and destination where you want to do that. So here it is, index.html. Done. Okay, so guys, this is the copy module. Now, so here if you see, Destination was required. Source by default is the current directory, but I specify that. So source are here. Okay, here is a path. The you have locations also. So local path to a file to a copy of the remote server. This can be absolute or relative path, and so on. Okay, so what next? So there's one more. Here we need one module which is called service. So service module. Now in service module, what is the parameters? So I'll just go study a little bit of time, spend some time here. Service module, copy module. Let me close it. Here it is, service module. And here you have a name which is required. So I have to specify. So service name. What is service name? So service name is Apache 2. I know that. Why? I know because I did manually. And what you want to do state. So hyphen A is missing actually. Hyphen A. Hyphen A. So which service? Apache 2. But what you want to do? Start, stop. So state is equal to started. So here state is equal to started, and you are done. So guys, likewise, these are the kind of ad hoc commands you will prepare, and if you want to test it in the one machine as usual. So are you comfortable with the ad hoc commands, all of you? Hello?
Yes, Rajesh.
Okay, so let me run this guys in the local host. So this machine I'm running CLS. CLS is not working. So Windows command CLEAR, clear. And I'm running this, testing my ad hoc commands in Ubuntu, same machine, localhost. Done. So installation is done through Ansible. Okay, not through manually. It's done through Ansible. See here. So if you see change false, so the second time, because first time it was changed true. Okay, let me show you the change true first time. See you. And second time you run change false. Why? Because Ansible is very intelligent. It will check whether the last command last module which you are running, whether it's done already or not, and if there is change in the state. If it is a change found, then only it will try to do that, else no change. So same likewise, I will run this commands and do this stuff. Now here is the failure. Failure, of course, we have a failure. Why? Because you're trying to copy the index.html, which is not available. So let me create a file vi index.html, and here h1 welcome welcome to Ansible class. Okay, and h1 close and save it. Done. Rerun this command. Done. And the last one, which I'm going to do that, which is restarting the Ansible Apache services. So it says no. So why is that? Service name Apache 2. So there is a one error. So I want to check why. So let me run manually because I don't. Okay, I know that what is the reason for it, but you should troubleshoot actually, because if Ansible is failing, is it failing manually also? So let me try to restart systemctl start Apache 2. Manually I'm doing, okay. And if you see, I'm sorry, my bad. check too. See, it's failing here also. So that means it's not a problem with Ansible, but it's a problem with the system. So that's a different thing. I mean, you know that how to troubleshoot and all. But I know the root cause 80 port. I mean, it's not starting because 80 port has been occupied already. So let me stop this service. I'm using this machine for something else also. Stop it. Stop. Now it's good. So now it will not fail. Let me run this command again. And you see, started. So now, if you want to access this server, I think let's look at the IP address and this one. Done. Done. Guys, did you understand that how can we write the ad hoc commands? Using that, you can do anything in the one machine for time being. Are you clear?
Yeah. So one question, Rajesh. So we are using this index.html, right? So in real-time scenario, how does this file will be helpful?
No, no, no. This is a representation. This file is a representation of any package. In real time, it can be
Okay.
tarball, it can be zip
Okay.
file. Correct? It's just a representation.
Okay. Got it.
So it can be any files of your software packages. Okay, so now you got this here, but the question, let's stick to the flow. So here, if you see that, if you want to do one task in localhost, did it. But now what I want, you want to do the same task, but in a remote machine. Okay, so how do we do that? So let me create this code, and I should have one remote machine. So I'm using, because remote machines will talk through the IP address, right? So instead of localhost, I'm adding, hey, Ansible, run this code in this machine, but we have to call with inventory, and inventory can have a multiple IP address, so all machine of this inventory, and because it has to be list dot. Okay, so this has to be added to run in the, and if you want to add a more machines, you can add a more IP address separated by comma. Right now I have one machine, so I'm adding it. So this one done. Now here it can be different machines also. Let me add a fake IP address also. 3.34.3.3. something. It's a fake IP address. Okay. So now one machine is genuine, one machine is a fake. So two machine I'm running it. And here, because understand the fundamentals. See, this guy is connecting through SSH and running in this machine. So SSH authentication is required, right? So what are you going to do? SSH authentication, how you going to work on it? So now if you see that, what are the options we have for authentications? Ansible enter. If you see clearly, for connection, we have option with the key also. We have an option with the password also. Somewhere I saw that. Here it is, you see. You can specify the username also, -u. Where is that? -u, can you find out for me? It's here, somewhere down. -u. So SSH authentication options, if you see, is detail over there. So now what to do? So here, -u Ubuntu, that's a username. And I don't have a password right now, so I'm going to use a key file, which is, where's the key file options? It's here. So key file is equal to node.pm. This pm file, I'll make it available in the server. Now, you know what? In order to install these applications, you have to have a sudo, right? Because Ubuntu is not a root actually. So you have to have sudo access. How can I escalate my authentication? So -v option. You can escalate that your option access. So hyphen B, that's all. So I think this will work. But the only thing is node.pm is not available in the server. So can we create it? Let me do that. So where's the node.pm? So I think I should go for to download, and then file name was uh, this one. Yeah, this one. PM file I'm going to copy with notepad plus plus and copy the server. So vi node. Okay, I'll create one directly easy for me, Raj. Ansible cd Ansible vi node dot what em, you can keep it and paste this key. You can use the password also, by the way, chmod 600, because key permissions should be always 600. That's all. And copy this file index.html which I created in the last directory. That's not coming. Uh, okay, it's not here, so I'll create a new index.html here. Vi index.html, some content, welcome, simple, done. So I got both the materials. So now I'm ready to run in the remote machine. So I have two machines as per this commands. Are you understanding all of these changes which I'm doing right now?
Yes, Rajesh.
So let me run this. So one machine is fake, I must tell you. Now guys, here if you see, when one machine talk to the another machine in Linux, this always comes, hey, are you sure you want to connect? Of course, yes. But you know what, guys, you cannot say hundreds of times yes, yes, yes. That's irritating, right? What to do then? How can we modify this? Anyone have an idea how can we modify the Ansible behavior? Anyone? Anyone have idea? So guys, we have discussed, one file which was Ansible configuration file, if you remember. So if you want to modify any behavior, then you should modify etc Ansible ansible.cfg. This is the file. Now here you have no option, so there's a documentations line here. You should check this. And here there's hundreds of options available. Which one help you? Again, you have to Google it to find out the right flag. By the way, this also has a documentation. If you read it, you'll get it. But have a little patience. But I know that host key checking is the option. If you enable it, that options will disappear. It will not ask you. So what to do? So let me copy this stanzas, and this has to be in section with the default. This is the stanza we call it. And host key checking, do you want it false? This is the one which I'm going to add in my configuration file. So now I'm saying Ansible, hey Ansible, the host key checking, which is you have a true by default in executable, make it false. Save it, and now it will not do that stuff. So one machine it will get success, one will fail because one is a fake IP address. It can be 10 machines separated by comma also, and so on. So I think same results with the other commands also. So you should run this, and one machine will be pass, one will be failed. See here, file change is done, change true, and done. So guys, Did you understand this part, second part? All of you, any questions?
So when you use the fake IP address, did it throw any error? I missed that part.
Yeah, it's there, no? Unreachable.
Okay.
First machine gets success, second unreachable. Okay, so
And what
now
does
what to
that?
do?
What does the defaults do? You change the flag, right?
Okay, this config
Or
file. This is the
yes, yeah.
okay. This is the config file specification, you can say. So defaults means all the default settings. This is stanzas. This is the configuration file. If you look at the here, this file, start with the default section, and inside that you have so many options. So I want to respect that the section. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so now next flow, if you see, hey, I want to do one task, but in a multiple remote machine, which I know that, but using inventory. But here I did, hard code the IP address in the command line also. But I want to use this time inventory. So the question is, what is inventory? And now you recall that. What is inventory? So inventory is a file which contains the list of IP addresses. That's all. So what I'm going to do is, I am going to replace these two machines within a file. So let me create an inventory file, and here vi inventory, enter, and separate by new line. Must remember, no comma. This is the INF file format. Okay, two machines. It can be 200 machines also. Mind it. Save it. Now inventory file is ready. So just specify. See this command line, instead of specifying too many IP addresses, just type inventory. The file name, by the way, can be anything. That's not a problem. Okay. So now it's had reduced. If you have too many machines, put it up everything in the inventory and run it. Simple. Let me run
Don't we need
this.
to specify the path
Which one?
for the inventory? You created an inventory file, right?
Uh-huh.
Do we need to specify the path of the file or not needed?
Which file?
The inventory file, right? So you
I
created
say
it some.
specify. Here it is. I inventory file name.
No, the file name you specified, but the location I'm saying.
Oh, it's a relative path or absolute. Both you can provide it, but typically in some current location, so that's not a problem.
Okay.
You can specify the path, relative, or all this thing, but typically you keep it in the same directory, everything. So likewise.
Okay.
Okay, so now I am going to run this with inventory. Now I can, using inventory, I can specify hundreds of machines here and done. See. So now next flow, if you see, is do one task but in a multiple remote machine, but use inventory, but you should be having custom group. Custom group is important. So what is a group? So if you see that here, all is a group, which is a built-in group for the Ansible. So here what you're saying, hey Ansible, run this module, but in all machine of this one. So that means you can have a custom group also created. How can we create a custom group? Very easy actually. Let me create it. So how do we create a group? So I want to create a group. So let's keep it one group which is called web, in square bracket the name of the group, and two machines are there. And here I'm creating one fake group db, and this is the IP address for db, and done. So I created two groups. So when I say all, four machines, which is a default group, but when I say web, it's a two machines, which is my custom group. So what I need to do, I think you know most of the stuff. So here I will modify, instead of all, I will say web, and here. run this. Two machines, see, one and two. One will fail, one is a fake machines. And same time, you know what? I want to do all again and I want to show the four machines. So see here, two machines, one failed, one pass. Now this time, four machines, three will fail, one will pass because three are fake IP address. See? So guys, did you understand this workflow? All of you?
Yes, Rajesh, understood. So, Rajesh, one question. So you are
Yeah.
using these a couple of IP address to install the Apache server, right? Meaning one is fake and one is the real one. When you first time, it's okay, you can install the Apache server, but when you create it, when you are trying to do it multiple times, do you think it will not throw any error because the Apache server is already installed? And again, if you're trying to install through groups or inventory, it should throw an error, right? If I'm not wrong.
No, so ultimately, see, the fundamental is whether you are doing through inventory or group or some other means. Ultimately, it's running the modules, right? And modules has a capability. Ansible has a capability to detect. Do you need to change? And if you notice, actually, every time
Okay.
false. I'm running it, but it's not changing because Ansible has detected. Hey, you have already installed the Apache, so you don't need to do anything else. So false.
Okay. Yeah.
So, Rajesh, one question is that, so you mean like all the test setup you are connecting here, right? They should have the same, SSH key, right? The PEM file,
Ah, that
same
is a
value.
very good question. Very good question.
Yeah,
So guys,
if we have already have a existing setup, test setup, how can we do that? Like, that is a challenge.
yeah, very good question. So guys, what see typically what happens when you run in the production, most of the time machines have a same keys, same password or something like that. But you know what? The customizations may come. You say, Rajesh, there is inventory, and here you are passing the command line that here this key file. But you know what? For this machine, this key file will not work. Something else will work. What? So something else. So there are so many ways available in the Ansible, so many ways. But one of the easiest way is, got it? Got it?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, now
That
for
means
each file,
even though
it's a,
if you
it will be like, the default one will be there, and if there is a specific information is provided, then it will override, right? That's how it is.
right, this
Okay.
you can override it on the host level. So
Okay.
precedence will be
Okay. Okay.
taken. What we call it, but what we call it in Ansible. So guys, we call it Ansible inventory. What is this? Behavioral parameter. Yes, this one. What is this? Ansible inventory behavior, spelling mistake here. Here it is. Okay, so this is call it a behavioral parameter here. See here. So these all options you can pass on the command line. I mean, so that the way I passed it, and here. By the way, this if you want to pass the key file, this is the right one. Okay, so this one is not the one. This is the right one. Got it?
Yes, got it.
Yeah, see here, this is the example. See, here we have a few files. This is a one host, second host, three, third, and fourth, and different one. You see, this running in 2020. I mean, this 222 port. All machines is one 222 port, but this machine is special. This different machine, so specify that. So everything you can customize actually. So I was not complicating the session for time being. Okay, so now if you look at the flow, now did you understand ad hoc commands? If you want to run one task in hundreds of machines, you can run it. There's no problem in it, but through Ansible parallelly. Did you understand that, all of you? Okay, so now next thing is guys, playbook. Now we have to do learn playbook, and that is something very important for all of us. Playbook is very important. So let's grab one break, get your tea, coffee, restroom, and personal calls for 15 minutes. And once you come back, I'll teach you playbooks. Will that be okay for all of you?
Yes, Radesh.